In a world where dragons ruled the skies, where fire and wind were a dragon's birthright, there was one dragon who had never left the ground. Not because he was weak, not because he was afraid, but because his wings simply would not work. His name was Ember. And this is his story. High in the Stormfair Mountains, where clouds crackled with lightning and winds howled like ancient wolves, lived the most powerful dragon clan in the known world, the Ashwing clan. Every dragon could fly. Before their first birthday, they soared through thunderstorms. For fun, they raced through narrow canyons. At full speed. Flying wasn't just something they did. It was who they were. Then there was Ember. Born during the biggest storm in 100 years. Everyone believed he would become the greatest flyer of all time. His scales shimmered like hot coals. His eyes burned bright gold. Everything about him screamed power. But when the day came for Ember to leap from the great cliff, the cliff every young dragon jumped from, his wings opened and failed. He fell. The silence that followed was louder than any thunder. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Every morning, Ember watched the others fly. Every morning, he tried. He jumped from smaller rocks, then bigger ones. He trained his wings for hours, until they ached. He studied the wind. Like a language he was desperate to learn. But the sky refused him. The clan elder, old Blazeclaw, pulled him aside one evening. Perhaps, Blazeclaw said slowly, the sky is simply not your path. Those words hit Ember harder than any fall. But instead of giving up, Ember got angry, and that anger became fuel. If he couldn't fly through the sky, he would master everything else. He trained his fire breath until it burned hotter than any dragon in the clan. He trained his legs until he could outrun a storm. He studied ancient maps and memorized every tunnel, every cave system in the mountains. While others flew above, Ember explored below. He discovered caves filled with crystals that glowed like stars, underground rivers that roared with power, tunnels no dragon had ever entered. He was building something. He just didn't know what yet. Then came the day. Everything changed. Creature known as the Shadow Serpent rose from the deep valleys. It had no wings, no fire, but it was enormous, ancient, and it moved underground. It attacked the clan from below. The flying dragons were useless. You cannot fight an underground enemy. From the sky, Blazeclaw dove low, but was thrown back. Stormwing breathed fire into tunnel entrances. But the Shadow Serpent just moved deeper. The clan was losing. Then, Ember stepped forward. I know these tunnels, he said quietly. Everyone stared. Every single one. Every entrance. Every exit. Every weak point in the rock. I have spent months down there, while you were up here. Blazeclaw looked at him for a long moment, then nodded. Ember led the strongest dragons into the darkness. He navigated twisting paths from memory alone. He led the Shadow Serpent deep into a massive cavern he had discovered weeks before. A cavern with a crack in the ceiling. He signaled the flying dragons above. They struck the crack with everything they had. The cavern collapsed. The shadow serpent was trapped. The clan was saved. That night, BlazeClaw stood before the entire clan. Today we were saved, he said. Not by the fastest flyer, not by the strongest fire, but by the dragon who went where none of us bothered to go, who learned what none of us bothered to learn, who turned his limitation into his legend. He placed his great claw on Ember's shoulder. The sky was never your kingdom, Ember. The depths are. And in that moment, something shifted inside Ember. He had spent so long looking up at what he couldn't have, that he had never looked down at what he had built. He couldn't fly, but he had saved them all. Maybe you are like Ember. Maybe there is something everyone around you seems to do easily that you simply cannot do. Maybe you have been told your path is closed. Maybe you have been watching others soar while you stand on the ground. But here is what Ember's story teaches us. Your limitation is not your weakness. It is your direction. The thing that stops you from going one way is pushing you toward the place only you can go. The depths others ignore. The tunnels nobody maps. The strength nobody expects. That is where your legend lives. Keep going, Ember. The clan needs you.